Are you tired of sweating through your daily commute or emptying your wallet just to find a reliable electric bike? Today, we are breaking down the absolute best affordable e-bikes on the market that actually deliver on their promises. Stick around until the very end because the bike taking our #1 spot offers a game-changing feature combination that I genuinely never expected to see at this affordable price point. 7. Heybike Mars 2.0. When I first unboxed the Heybike, I was intrigued by its rugged, folding fat tire design and the promise of go-anywhere capabilities. Taking it out on some light gravel trails, the massive 4-inch wide fat tires certainly absorbed a lot of the standard bumps and provided a decent sense of stability. It looks aggressive out of the box, and the inclusion of a rear rack makes it seem like a solid companion for weekend adventures or carrying light cargo around town. Testing the 1200-watt peak motor revealed a ride that is undeniably powerful, but it severely lacks the refinement you want in a daily rider. The power delivery is quite abrupt, meaning that when you engage the pedal assist, the bike tends to lurch forward rather than ramping up smoothly. This made navigating tight city corners or riding alongside pedestrians feel unnecessarily stressful, as I constantly had to feather the brakes to keep the motor from running away from me. While it is marketed as a convenient folding e-bike, the reality of living with the Mars 2.0 is quite different. It is incredibly heavy and cumbersome, making the folding mechanism feel more like a gimmick than a practical feature. Trying to lift this bulky frame into the trunk of my car was a serious workout, and the locking latch felt a bit stiff, requiring far too much effort to secure properly after unfolding. My time testing the mechanical disc brakes left a lot to be desired, especially on a bike that carries this much weight and momentum. After just a few weeks of moderate riding, the brakes started squeaking loudly and required manual cable adjustments to maintain adequate stopping power. 6. Lectric eBikes XP4. Moving on to the Lectric. I had high expectations given the brand's massive popularity in the folding e-bike space. Unfolding it for the first time, the frame felt sturdy, and the overall aesthetic has certainly improved from their earlier iterations. I took it for a spin around the neighborhood and immediately appreciated the upgraded suspension fork, which did a respectable job of smoothing out potholes and cracked pavement during my urban commute. The addition of a torque sensor was supposed to be a major upgrade, but in my testing, the implementation felt slightly underwhelming. While it is certainly a step up from a basic cadence sensor, I still noticed a distinct lag between my pedal strokes and the motor's engagement. It lacks the highly intuitive, mind-reading feel that better-tuned torque sensors provide, leaving the ride feeling just a bit disconnected when you're trying to navigate changing speeds. Spending long hours in the saddle revealed some significant ergonomic drawbacks, particularly for anyone over 5'9". The geometry of the XP4 puts you in a somewhat upright, cramped riding posture that becomes uncomfortable after about 10 miles of continuous riding. Despite adjusting the seat post and handlebars to their maximum limits, I always felt like I was riding a bike that was just a half size too small for me. Just like the Heybike, the XP4 suffers from being excessively heavy for a bike that is supposed to be portable. Tipping the scales at over 60 pounds, carrying this up a flight of stairs or maneuvering it onto a train is a grueling task that completely defeats the purpose of buying a folding bike. 5. Ride1Up Portola. The Ride1Up completely changed my perspective on what an affordable, compact folding e-bike can actually achieve. From the moment I took it out of the box, the build quality felt remarkably premium, with clean welds and a streamlined frame that doesn't scream budget bike. Riding it through a busy downtown area, I was immediately struck by how nimble and agile it felt, darting through traffic with a level of grace that the previous two bikes entirely lacked. The electrical integration on the Portola is genuinely fantastic, offering a 750-watt motor that delivers power with surprising smoothness. When I tested it on a steep incline, the motor engaged predictably and provided a strong, steady surge of power that easily carried me to the top without any jerky movements. It feels incredibly refined, allowing you to ride at a relaxed pace or aggressively accelerate when you need to merge with traffic. One of the most impressive features I tested on the Portola is the inclusion of hydraulic disc brakes, which is incredibly rare at this price point. The stopping power is absolute night and day compared to mechanical brakes. They offer a smooth, responsive bite that brings you to a safe halt with just one finger on the lever. This gave me a massive boost in confidence when riding in wet conditions or descending steep hills. Despite its smaller stature, the Portola manages to offer a surprisingly comfortable ride thanks to its well-tuned front suspension and plush saddle. The fat tires are sized perfectly, large enough to absorb road chatter and provide stability, but not so massive that they make the bike feel lethargic. Number 4. Aventon Soltera 2.5. If you want an electric bike that actually looks and feels like a traditional bicycle, the Aventon is an absolute revelation. Taking this bike out on my local paved trails, I was instantly captivated by its lightweight, aerodynamic frame and incredibly sleek geometry. It completely ditches the bulky, clunky aesthetic of most e-bikes, offering a stealthy design where the battery is seamlessly integrated directly into the down tube. The standout feature during my testing was the masterfully tuned torque sensor, which provides one of the most natural riding experiences I have ever felt. The motor amplifies your pedaling effort instantaneously, making you feel like you suddenly have the legs of an Olympic athlete. There is zero lag. The harder you push, the more it gives, resulting in a workout that feels incredibly organic and deeply rewarding. Because the bike is so lightweight, the handling is razor sharp and incredibly responsive. I found myself effortlessly weaving through tight bike lanes and maneuvering around obstacles with total precision. The thinner tires reduce rolling resistance drastically, allowing the bike to coast beautifully even when the motor is completely turned off, which is a massive advantage if you ever run out of battery. Aventon's attention to detail shines through in their technological integrations, particularly the crisp, full-color LCD display. It was perfectly visible even in direct sunlight, providing all my essential ride metrics at a quick glance. I also loved the integrated turn signals built into the rear frame. Testing them at night made me feel significantly safer and more visible to passing cars on busy suburban roads. This bike is practically tailor-made for the urban commuter who has to deal with stairs or public transit. 3. Lectric eBikes XP Lite 2.0. Stepping onto the Lectric felt like a breath of fresh air in a market dominated by overly complicated, massive machines. This bike embraces simplicity and execution in the best way possible, offering a stripped-down, ultra-fun riding experience. My first test ride was a quick trip to the local coffee shop, and I found myself smiling the entire way because the bike is just so inherently playful and easy to throw around. The absolute game changer I experienced with this model was the Gates carbon belt drive system. Riding it is completely silent, incredibly smooth, and completely devoid of the greasy, clanky maintenance that comes with a traditional metal chain. I loved not having to worry about my pant legs getting stained, and the direct power transfer from the pedals to the rear wheel felt tight, efficient, and incredibly premium. True to its name, the XP Lite 2.0 is phenomenally lightweight, making it the most genuinely portable folding bike on this list. I was able to fold it up in less than 10 seconds and comfortably carry it onto a crowded train without breaking a sweat or annoying my fellow passengers. The locking mechanism is secure and snappy, highlighting a massive improvement in manufacturing tolerances. Do not let the smaller motor fool you. Because the bike weighs so little, it accelerates with surprising zip and urgency. It gets up to its top speed quickly and maintains momentum beautifully on flat ground. While it won't crush massive mountain inclines, it handles standard city slopes with ease, providing a peppy, responsive ride that makes running mundane errands feel like an absolute joyride. 2. Ride1Up Roadster V3. The Roadster V3 is the ultimate master of disguise. It is an electric bike that entirely conceals its electric nature. When I unboxed this sleek minimalist machine, my friends genuinely did not believe me when I told them it had a battery and a motor. Taking it out on the open road, the Roadster V3 delivered a ride that was purely focused on speed, efficiency, and a deep connection to the pavement. Much like the XP Lite, the Roadster V3 utilizes a belt drive, but pairs it with a completely stealthy internal battery and a whisper-quiet rear hub motor. Testing this combination resulted in a ride that was completely silent. All I could hear was the wind and the hum of the tires. The power delivery is incredibly smooth, providing a relentless, linear push that easily carried me past 20 miles per hour with minimal physical exertion. The geometry of this bike leans slightly forward, putting the rider in an aggressive, aerodynamic position that is perfect for slicing through city winds. I felt incredibly locked in and stable, even when taking sharp corners at high speeds. The frame is exceptionally rigid, meaning absolutely no energy is lost when you stand up and pedal hard to get through an intersection quickly. Weighing in at roughly the same weight as a standard analog bicycle, the Roadster V3 is a joy to live with in a multi-story apartment building. I effortlessly threw it over my shoulder to carry it up 3 flights of stairs without a second thought. This low weight also means the braking performance is stellar, as the brakes don't have to fight against the massive momentum that plagues heavier e-bikes. 1. Rad Power Bike's RadRunner Plus. Testing this bike was an absolute blast. It is part moped, part cargo bike, and entirely versatile. I loaded it up with groceries, strapped a heavy backpack to the front rack, and even took a friend for a ride on the back. And the RadRunner Plus handled every single scenario with absolute unbothered confidence. The standout feature that elevates this bike above everything else is its incredible passenger package and hauling capacity. The elongated, mope-style seat is deeply padded and incredibly comfortable, easily accommodating a second rider. During my tests, the 750-watt motor barely noticed the extra passenger weight, powering through inclines and long straightaways with a level of torque that left me genuinely astonished. Unlike the standard model, the Plus version comes equipped with a highly capable front suspension fork and a 7-speed drivetrain. The suspension soaked up massive potholes and curb drops effortlessly, saving my wrists and back from jarring impacts. Having those 7 speeds was a lifesaver when the battery got low, allowing me to easily downshift and pedal the heavy bike up a hill without blowing out my knees. The step-through frame design makes getting on and off incredibly easy, regardless of how much cargo you have strapped to the racks. The custom fat tires are street-treaded, meaning they roll efficiently on pavement, while still providing massive grip and stability. It feels like riding a small motorcycle, giving you a commanding view of the road and a supreme sense of balance and control. After weeks of testing, it became incredibly clear why the RadRunner Plus claims the top spot. It is the only bike on this list that can truly replace your car. Between the massive battery range, the phenomenal accessory ecosystem, and the sheer power to haul passengers and cargo, it offers a lifestyle change rather than just a recreational ride.